All right, I got a fun one for you guys today. We are going to go over the ACE Certified Personal Trainer exam and my experience with it. So stay tuned. All right, so first things first is, why did I want to become a personal trainer? First off, I have been training for a few years now, specifically weightlifting, and I just thought it was kind of that time where I wanted to be able to train others and help others grow in that aspect. And so I love learning new things. I have a really big passion for fitness, so I think that was like my next step is, why not try this out? So there are so many different options when it comes to getting certified. You can have an online program, you can do a business through a personal like private gym, you can do like a big box gym, and it's kind of just whatever is catered to you and what you really want to get out of this experience. So for me, I do want to focus on online training and also have like more one-to-one clients. So I thought that ACE would be the perfect option for me. And so I actually researched them a little bit, kind of got to find out a few people that I already knew that had been certified through ACE, which is the American Council on Exercise. What's cool about ACE is you don't just have to be certified in personal training. They have different options, whether you want to be a nutritional coach or if you want to go into like group fitness, they have a lot of those options. So definitely just look at their website and see what you think is best for you. Once I looked at the website and kind of got a little feel for what I really wanted to go for, I saw the personal training course, and then I just kind of went for it. So when first looking at the website, there are 3 different options when it comes to what program that you want to purchase. And there's a basic one, there's one in the middle, I believe it's called the Plus, and then there's the most premium option that gives like the most amenities and also more online exams and just practice things like that. And that one is, I believe, the Advantage option. I went for right in the middle. I think that was kind of like my best option at the time and also is what I could afford. I had the online option of the book. I also had the physical copy of the book, which I highly recommend when it comes to, I don't know, maybe I'm just one of those people who likes having hands-on things, but I personally liked having an actual book on hand. I'm not always able to just look at a screen for that long. And then also, I believe in every package, it does come with a study companion. I would say the study companion was the most helpful thing for me. It had practice exams in there, it had the answer keys, it had little blank charts that you could fill out for all the tables that are in the book. So I highly recommend actually using that because, I mean, 1, you're paying for it, and 2, it really did help me understand the concepts better. I do want to share some tips that helped me along the way, and hopefully they can help you out as well. The first study tip that I have is to read the book. Sounds so basic, so minimalist.
Did you read the whole thing?
Don't skim through. I think it's super important for you to actually understand each concept, each chapter, and what's in the chapters to be able to grasp and to fully understand what you're kind of doing and what's really going to apply to your actual career. It can definitely get somewhat overwhelming, which is definitely not fun. However, don't get overwhelmed, don't beat yourself up, take one day at a time. If you have an extra hour to study at night, take advantage of that time. If you know your day is super exhausted and you really only have 15 minutes to read, take those 15 minutes and read. You won't regret it. Alright, so for my second tip, it would definitely be to practice things on someone or practice on yourself. There are so many different things in the book, whether it comes to program design, progressions, regressions, postural deviations, things like that, that you may not understand by just reading or looking at a picture. I think for me, I'm more of a visual person. I also do love doing things more hands-on. So if I saw myself in a mirror or if I'm able to see an actual person and adjust them correctly, then I think that helped me understand the concept better. I would definitely make sure, because these questions are on the exam, are knowing your postural deviations, so things like lordosis or kyphosis. I would definitely focus on knowing the planes of motion, which are sagittal, frontal, and transverse, and being able to associate each different movement and where those planes of motion are, and as well as knowing the difference between concentric, eccentric, things like abduction, adduction, and yeah, I would definitely say that those are really key important things to know. Alright, so for my third tip, it would be to understand calculating formulas. So one of the biggest things is understanding and being able to calculate nutrition labels. So things like knowing the percentage or calories per gram when it comes to proteins, carbs, fats, things like that. If you don't understand those things, I would definitely research that. Go over, I believe it's chapter 6. Go over that a few times. I know for me, I kind of started off confused, and then once I read it a few times, I really just, then it clicked. All right, so my fourth tip would be understanding assessments. There are a lot of questions that I kind of was a little bit confused on, and I know I should have just studied a little bit more on different assessments. So things like the McGill torso test, the Thomas test, understanding flexibility test, balance tests, all of those are on the exam, and I would say if you don't understand them, go over it again. If you don't understand it, maybe have someone or do it on yourself. Because I think the more and more you do it, the more and more you practice, the better you're going to be able to retain it versus just reading it once and thinking, oh yeah, I got it. So I'd say those were really important for me, and I wish I would have studied a little bit more when it came to those questions. All right, so my fifth tip would be to know chapters 12 through 15, specifically the exercise evidence-based recommendations. And that kind of seems really just broad, but I'd say for the most part, if you understand the recommendations for exercise when it came to people, average adults, obese people, the older population, women who are pregnant or also postpartum period, even people with chronic diseases or musculoskeletal issues, all of those chapters 12 through 15 seems a lot of things, but if you just focus on those tables, I think you'll get the gist of it, and you'll kind of notice there are some similarities when it comes to those different populations, but for the most part, you will get a few questions on that, so I would say definitely hone into those chapters overall. Alrighty, my sixth tip would be to understand the ACE Integrated Fitness Training Model, which is the IFT model. If you don't know what it is, you probably didn't even start reading the book yet. So I know I believe it was the 5th edition, I had the 6th edition, I would say that they did kind of switch up a little bit of the language of what the integrated fitness training model is. So I would say if you have the old edition, or maybe you're borrowing it from someone else, you probably don't have the most updated one, which is going to be the one that helps you on the exam. So I would say make sure you have the latest edition, which currently I believe is just the 6th edition. I will double check for you guys. But I would say understanding the IFT model is really going to help you out. There is a section for specifically the cardio and also for muscular training. So if you don't know it, or if you don't really understand it, again, read it, practice it, understand it, look at the tables, look at the book over and over again until you really do understand it. All right, time for the 7th tip. I know I feel like I'm probably dragging this on, but I do want to help you guys out in any way possible. If you guys have questions along the way, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or I'll also leave my email. So again, for the 7th tip, which I didn't even share yet, is to take all of the practice quizzes. When you have the online course, each chapter at the very end has little practice quizzes. I know that each bigger section has a longer practice exam that I believe is 50 questions. Don't skip those. Actually do them and read them, and then kind of go back and see which ones you missed and why did you miss them, and if you don't understand it, go back to the book and read it again. I even looked at different things online, making sure obviously it was the most updated edition, but I found free online quizzes that I did throughout the last, I believe, 2 weeks before I actually took the exam, and those really did help me out a lot. Okay, last but not least, the last chapter, chapter 16, which is my 8th tip, is to study chapter 16. It sounds like it might be not that much, and I believe it's only about 40 pages. However, there are so many important things that you need to know. This chapter goes over things like legal forms, legal responsibilities, negligence. I believe it goes over emergency situations, social media aspect and privacy things. It goes over a business aspect, it goes over risk management, and I think all of those, or I'd say almost all of those, have at least one question on the exam, so I would definitely focus on that last chapter. It seems like it might be kind of why is this part of the test, or why is this part of the book? but it really is an important chapter, and those do come on the test. And it will definitely help you out later on once you become your certified personal trainer, and if you are trying to do your own business, which I believe most of you guys are if you are watching this video. So I think that the chapter itself was really informative for me, and then also knowing that it was on the exam helped me out that I actually read it. Alright, so I do want to end it here. If anything helps you out, I hope it did. Definitely hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, I'm going to be making more videos. I'm still new to this channel, so bear with me as I go through this journey with you guys. And I don't think I said it, but I did pass my first time.
You guys, I'm like really smart now. You don't even know.
As far as details when it came to the exam, there are 150 questions. You get 3 hours to take the exam. I want to say you have to get, I think the score is 500 out of 800. I'm super happy that I passed the test, and I'm super excited to start this new journey. And again, if you have any questions, or if you want to just ask me something or just put a little comment, feel free to drop it down below. And I hope this video was informative, helpful, maybe goofy, I don't really know. But anyways, I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.